Unless we find out that the Kardashians are closet serial killers or something, the Duggars will almost certainly go down as the most dysfunctional family in the history of reality television. But for all of their many faults, Jim Bob and his offsprings are good at making money. Or at least they were, until their empire came tumbling down last year. As you've no doubt heard by now, Josh Duggar has been convicted of receiving and possessing CP. He's currently sitting in an Arkansas County jail awaiting sentencing. Josh could be locked up for the next 20 years, which is good news for society, but bad news for his wife Anna Duggar. Not only is she now tasked with raising 7 kids on her own, but she's doing so with no visible means of support and no job experience. So just how broke is Anna? Well, according to a new report from In Touch, Josh's long-suffering wife is worth just $60,000. Since that includes non-liquid assets like the home that her family lives in, it's a shockingly low figure for a person who's got 7 mouths to feed. If you're wondering how it's possible that Anna is so destitute despite her many years as a reality star, then we'd like to take this opportunity to remind you that her father-in-law is a thieving con artist. As you may recall, back in 2019, Derek Dillard called out Jim Bob for stealing millions from his own kids by pocketing their TLC earnings. Why does Jim Bob get all the money from the show and doesn't give any to his children, the actual stars of the show? A Twitter user asked Derek at the time. I don't know, you would have to ask him that, Jill Duggar's husband replied. He negotiated for you also, or just Jill? Another user asked. For everyone but without telling anyone, Derek replied. There is too little space and time on Twitter to explain my whole thought process over the course of the past 4+ years, but the point is, TLC should have handled all of it much differently, Dillard continued. You might be inclined to think that Jim Bob is now experiencing the consequences of his actions. After all, he's now faced with 2 unpleasant options: either allow his grandkids to starve, or personally support 7 more kids despite the fact that he still has 9 of his own at home. But really, this is the sort of situation that Jim Bob dreams of. His power over his family and his community derives almost entirely from his wealth. Jim Bob loves the idea of his adult children still being dependent upon him for support, and he no doubt relishes the idea of stepping in as a father figure to Anna's children. When he stole from his own kids, Jim Bob took not only their money, but their independence. No one in the family has any formal education or real-world job experience, so it was always inevitable that they would wind up leaning on Jim Bob for support, which is exactly what he wanted. And now Anna is in the nightmare position of being forced to rely on the man who helped turn her husband into the predatory monster he became. Hopefully she'll limit the amount of time that Jim Bob spends with her own kids. But sadly, she's not in a position to refuse her father-in-law's financial support.
That's it for now, thank you for watching, please subscribe to stay tuned.